Page 184, modulation. I'm also going to cover page 185 in this lesson too. This is the first lesson in this unit which has to do with modulation. Modulation, you can read all about it in Google and just knock yourself out. Basically, you're just changing from one thing to another. What those things are, usually it's keys we're talking about. They talk about two types. You have the pivot or the common chord, and you have the direct or the phase, whatever they want to call it, anything you want. There's just two methods of doing it. It's like going in a chord sequence. If I have a chord and I have another chord where two notes are the same in each chord, those chords tend to just go from one to the other. It's easy on the ear. It's a sequence of chords. It's just nice and easy on the ear. It just fits. Same thing in going between the keys. If I have a key like C major, and I have another key that uses that same chord, like in F major, it's the dominant of it, then I can go from C major to F major using that chord. So I go something in C major, I use the C chord, I can go right into F major here and introduce a flat because the chord is common to both. Or another way of doing it is just forget the common junk and just go to it. If I'm in D major and I want to go to B major, I just go there. This just don't know how well it sounds, but you just do it. Some keys do well that way, and others are very blunt. Sometimes they want blunt. No, they have a chord progression there in the middle of the page, and this is going for chords now, not keys. And we're just here. And you can see these chords go from one to the other very nicely because they share notes. I used an F sharp there, and I ended up in the key of G. So I went from C to G. I modulated it from the last two measures. That's a G chord, and it's also in C major. The same chord fits in both keys here, and then I use a secondary dominant, D7 here. Secondary dominant, which would be the 5/7 of G major here. They give other examples there where you can do that. You do it in the following key. Use the same chord progression in the other keys. So you use the Roman numerals underneath, the one chord, the 5/7, the one, and you just use those in the different keys. G major, the one chord here. The left hand's basically playing this pattern in whatever the key is. So G would be here or down here. I don't know where you're at. Here. So it's, you get the idea. Play the same chord in these other keys. It all works the same. At the bottom of the page, they're telling you to practice your major scales in group, what they call a group 1. Different publishers or writers of these books have different ways of grouping the keys. I personally have never grouped the keys. I just go around circle fifths. But they're doing it in group 1, which basically means that the fingering in the right hand is the same and you're starting on a white key is here. All of these. Not F. F is a different fingering, so F isn't included. But G and B is different fingering, so that's not included. But these others are all included. Yeah, I think you should do all 12 major and minor scales. I got videos on it. At the top of page 185, that's the same thing with the arpeggios. And the arpeggios on these different ones, for the, it's all white keys. The arpeggio is going to feel the same, whether it's a C major or a G major. Whatever it is, F major is not in this group, but F major would feel the same too for the arpeggio. And then the others have black key, and that's going to feel the same. D will feel the same, physically the same. And then finally on page 185 is a little bit of technique stuff. You get to wiggle your fingers. If you're looking for technique stuff, frankly, I think the Cherny studies are just great for it, or the Hannon studies. You can wiggle your fingers all day long on those things. So I don't really have a lot of things to say on this. You have a combination of legato and staccato. You can do that with the scales. Just do the scales, just legato go up, staccato come down, and then switch it. the scales that way. And the arpeggios too, at your speed, not mine. At the bottom of page 185, then they give the block chords. There are 1 chords in the different keys. C major, D major, E major. And that's actually a good idea because that gets you accustomed to the patterns you see on the keyboard. Don't use the music. Forget the music. Focus on the keyboard. And you're seeing these patterns on the keyboard, and it helps in playing the music because you'll run into these chords. And when you're already accustomed to seeing the pattern, when you glance down to see where you're going, you'll recognize it real quick. You don't have to look down as long, and it helps playing. It helps sight reading. Let me know if you have any questions on this, but basically that's all it is.